and gentlemen, welcome to a new episode of our program for this week. Today we're meeting Mr. Vaibhhav Ashok Hachandani. He is from India and he's born and raised here in UAE. Welcome to our program.
Thank you.
Mr. Vaibhhav, he's a founder of many companies. One of them is logistics, and the second one is Ace Events.
Okay.
All right. So first of all, we would like to know about yourself.
So about me, I'm 25 years old and I was born and raised in UAE. I've studied in UAE, in Indian High School and then Manchester in Jablali. And I studied my mechanical engineering from Heriot University, Dubai campus. And as soon as I graduated from university, I got into logistics transport logistics, because my father was working in the similar line.
Mm-hmm.
And even I got a job opportunity in the same company. And from there, I started my journey of working, and I worked into that company for almost 2.5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I was into business development in that company. So we dealt with Star Cement, Aditya Birla Group, Union Cement, Ashok Cement. These are the companies that we were dealing with.
Yeah.
And I mean, when you're working in business development, you generally know in and outs of the company. So I worked there for 2.5 years, and when the time came for my father to retire, even I quit the job.
Yeah.
And I started my own company.
Mm-hmm.
And touch wood, things worked out very well for us in logistics. I mean, the companies really supported me.
Mm-hmm.
All the companies that we work with currently, they supported us. And then, I mean, I started this company, logistics company, in September 2021.
Uh-huh.
September 2021. So it's been 1.5 years only.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it was a very good thing that the company worked out, and that's how it all began for me.
How was the beginning in UAE's market?
See, again, because I was working in the same industry for 2.5 years, I understood the concept of this business. You need to understand the concept and how the banking system works and what are the credit terms that you're working with the companies.
Yeah.
And you need to decide very wisely that which companies you want to deal with in UAE that way. And if you're dealing with big companies, local companies, which is Ashok Cement, Union Cement, these are all locally owned government companies.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're always secure to work with.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're dealing with international companies, then you should go for MNCs, then like Star Cement. It's a Aditya Birla Group, so it's one of the biggest groups in India. So you need to you need to choose wisely which companies you're working with.
Okay. When you decided to establish your company, for sure you looked for some elements that you want to, achieve. The first of all is the staff. So how did you choose your staff?
About my staff, in both my logistics and events company, Ace Events, both the companies, if you see that the company, I mean, the one who's handling my accounts is my sister, is my younger sister. The one who's managing my events company is a best friend of mine since my 4th grade. And the one who's working on the field in logistics with me, both the guys. So one is a friend who was studying in university with me, and the other one is someone I met in the market. So I mean, if you see, I've surrounded myself with trustworthy people who I've known for years, family and friends. Yeah. And I mean, again, a growth is you can never have an individual growth. I mean, it's always like, it's not. I mean, I am the face of these two companies, but if I don't have the team behind working for me, then I mean, the companies are no point.
Correct.
No matter how many companies I open.
Yeah.
So you have to have that trust within these employees. And the third guy, I had met him within the field. He was working for a competitor for me in logistics. So I knew him from there, and he was also looking for a growth and opportunity. I mean, as long as you're providing your staff the growth and opportunity, and you're ready to grow with them, and not just look at an individual growth, but you look at the growth of a collective people.
Yeah.
Then I mean, everyone wants to stay with you and wants to work with you. If it's an individual growth, I don't think anyone will stay for long. Okay.
Speaking of trust, how did you gain your clients and customers' trust?
So again, events. In events, it is more through through my friend who's working for me. So he was working in this field. So he's worked in this field for 2 to 3 years, and for me in logistics, I've worked in 2 to 3 years, almost 2.5 years. So again, when you're working for 2.5 years, what happens is they know you personally also.
Yeah.
You develop that connection when you're working for 2 years with someone. So when they give you, and it's one basic rule that I've understood while doing business is never say no. Whatever your customers want, you've got to say yes, or you've got to say I'm gonna try. If your first response is no, they're never gonna trust you. They're never gonna come back to you. But at least if you say yes, and even if you're not making the profits that you were expecting, or maybe the work is not happening as they want, but they see you struggling for it, they see you working hard for it, and trying to reach their expectations, that's when they start trusting you more.
Yeah.
And regarding the suppliers who we work with, is my father has almost 10 years experience with the suppliers, because he used to handle all the drivers, the logistics people and everything. So he's a well-known guy in that market. So for me, I just gained that benefit because of my father.
Yeah.
Because as soon as they knew, okay, he's Ashok Chandani's son, everyone was like, okay, he's Ashok's son. Why should we, not trust him that way with the suppliers? That way.
Now, would you please tell us in details about your first company, VK Logistics? What is it specialized in, and what services do you offer?
So we basically work with cement industry plants, all the cement factories and the crusher stones in Ras Al Khaimah. So there we deal with 3XL tipper trucks. These are these big lorry trucks that carry cement material, raw material, and they move it to cement plants. So all the production happens in Fujairah and Ras Al Khaimah. You must know all these production happens in Ras Al Khaimah and Fujairah. And it is all the cement factories are in Dubai and Abu Dhabi, and Sharjah. So we basically take those materials from there and transport it to these cement factories within UAE itself.
Yeah. And what makes you more special aside from other companies that do logistics?
I think the one that really works in my benefit in my logistics industry is my age, because I'm 25 years old.
Yeah.
And clients want to see creative ideas. They want to see young passion, young blood is always different to someone who's 35, 40 years old. That way. Someone who's 40 would have been like, okay, I've achieved whatever I could achieve. And I'm just going to work with what I have. But someone who's 25 years old, everyone can mold you the way they want you to. So the companies and the people I'm dealing with are at a certain age, and they've reached because of their experience and at those positions.
Yeah.
So when you're at that position, you want things to be done accordingly. Because they also have to respond to their bosses, and they need to have because of that. So with me, what the easiest thing what they find is you can just call Vaibhhav, tell him, okay, this is what we need. This is your contract, and can you do it? And like I said, you can never say no to these people, because I think because I'm young also, that respect is automatically comes, because I'm very young when I'm meeting all these people. So I cannot talk to them by saying their first names or second names. I have to tell them sir and everything.
Yeah.
And I'm always saying yes to everything, even though I know, okay, it might not be possible, but I still give it my shot for 2 to 3 times before I say it. Before I show them, okay, these are the roadblocks that I'm facing. If you can support me within these, then I can do your work accordingly the way you want.
Yeah.
So I think that's what works.
mentioned for the interview, you started your new business, which is Ace Events.
Yeah.
So would you please tell us more about it and the specialization and the services?
Sure.
Yeah.
So with Ace Events is basically we are into nightlife industry for the people in Dubai and UAE. So we collaborate with clubs, we promote their clubs, we get in the crowd, and there are certain contracts that we have with the clubs. We also will soon get into weddings, private events, corporate events. I mean, those are our eventual goal. The end goal for Ace Events, or the vision I have for Ace Events, is to make it a brand name. I don't want it to be just an X or an Y event company that's there in the market. It has to be a brand. When we talk about Ace, it should be a brand. People should know, okay, it's Ace Events. That means it's the best event, best nightlife, the best weddings, the best corporate events. So yeah, the end goal is that. Obviously, we are very new in the market, and we will slowly get there. But one thing I've learned through logistics for sure is, the start is always the hard, and as you grow, and you need to be honest with your work. To be honest, as long as you're honest with your work and you're working hard, I don't think anyone can stop you.
Yeah.
But the moment you feel that, okay, you've done everything and you've achieved everything, that's the moment you have your graph is not upwards, it's just constant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So.
And how did you get the idea of events?
So events again was more to support my friend who's working with me. Puneet, his name is. So it was more to support him, and my cousin sister who's working in logistics with me and who's handling my accounts was to, even she has an idea of events and she's got the interest of events and everything. So for me, I come more from the business point of view in events. I'm not the creative guy. I'm not the one who would suggest do this, do that. I'm more from the numbers point of view. At the end of the day, balance sheet, profit, losses, contracts to be negotiated. That's what my role is in the company. But whereas it comes creative and sales and marketing, it is Kiran and Puneet. These are the guys that are actually managing it, for everyone. But yeah, I can give them, because I've worked and I've done my business, I can guide them, how businesses are done. Because the basic concept of business always remains the same, no matter what business you do. The concept of every business would remain the same. So it was more to support these people, to help them grow. So like I said in the start of the interview, it is never an individual growth. If you want people who you trust to stick with you and you see a growth with them for yourself, you need to make sure they're growing too. Otherwise they're just going to look around and they're going to leave you. Yeah. So you need to make sure that whoever is working with you, whoever your staff is, if they've got their dreams, if they've got certain goals, I think as a boss, if you have that position to provide them, you have that mindset, so to provide them the guidance. And if you support them, they will never forget you. And if their company goes well, you will always have a percentage share in that company. So you have to look at both ways that way.
Do you have any ongoing events coming on?
Yeah, so we have a first event on 23rd of December this month. I think it's within 2 or 3 days now. And it's in Club Ole, Sukalbar, downtown. And Club Ole has really supported us, because as a startup, it is very hard to get your first contract. It's very hard to negotiate your first contract, but they were ready to support us. And it's a nightlife experience for everyone. So it's an Ace nightlife experience, and it's like a Christmas special for everyone in Dubai.
Yeah. What's your future vision to your businesses?
The future vision again is to have again, at the end of the day, I come from a background where my parents were working class. They were always salaried. They were very limited to everything. We were always very limited as young kids, me and my sister. So again, the reason I started this company was I wanted to break that barrier, that limits. I wanted to break it. You have to do something more than what your parents have done. So at the end of the day, the vision for both my companies is, again, Ace Events has to become a brand for sure. It has to be a brand name. And for logistics, it is doing the maximum tonnage you can do. In logistics, the numbers based on tonnage. The more tonnage you do, the bigger transporter, the bigger logistics you have known for.
Yeah.
And again, we obviously want to expand to India because that's where my hometown is. So I want to take these two companies and expand in India. And I mean, if God wishes, then I'm sure that we can expand worldwide also. But yeah, that's the vision.
And to the people who supported you, would you like to address them an appreciation message?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, my family back in India, my Masi, my mom's sister, she supported me a lot. My uncle has always guided me the right way, even though he's in India. And my mom and dad, I mean, I can never thank them enough because they've given all their life to make sure that today I'm sitting in this chair, in this office, and they've given me that guidance and the support.
In the United Arab Emirates, we find a high level of safety and security. So from your side, would you like to address the Emirates, the leaders, rulers, and sheikhs of the United Arab Emirates? A thank you message from your side?
Yes, for sure. I mean, the sheikhs of United Arab Emirates have, made sure that young entrepreneurs, the safety for ladies, the safety for men, I mean, safety for all caste and religion. I mean, even though we are from outside, from UAE, but they've made sure that we are treated equally as the locals over here. They've given us opportunities to set up our bases over here and grow in UAE. And the business opportunities they've provided us is one of the best worldwide. We all know that. And I mean, UAE is known for the safety. So I mean, that is why parents, like my parents, were really, they were easily shifted back then at those age, in 90s, they were still happy to come to UAE and shift over here because the safety since then till now has been the same. It's been number one. Yeah. Even though they had a daughter and they never thought, okay, we're going to a foreign country, what will happen to our daughter and all, because of the safety that was always provided by the sheikhs in UAE.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being with us today in this episode with Mr. Vaibhhav. Hopefully we'll see you on the next episode with a new successful story.